Hi guys, I'm Ritu and in today's video we are going to be creating this makeup look. This look has been created by following a makeup artist. Her name is Kelsey Bain. She's an Australian makeup artist and she recently had a bride, Natalie, who her makeup look went amazingly viral and she's broken it down completely and like it was so amazing. So the main focus was to make the makeup look very skin-like and not use any highlighting products. That was the specific request of the bride and so I had a lot of fun recreating this makeup look, and I will link Kelsey's video and her profile in the comments down below. I've tried to recreate it as accurately as possible and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So she went for a really intense skin prep routine because they wanted the skin to be glowy, not highlighted. So they started with the hydration mist. She used the Anuva PDRN one. I have this Dalba First Spray Serum. I'm going to use this and I'm going to spray a generous layer on my face. And like a lot of makeup artists, what they do for the brides before they do the makeup is that they really massage the skincare in and give the bride a mini little massage. You work your skincare into your skin, the makeup will sit on your skin better. If the skincare is well absorbed, the makeup will also in turn not slip and slide around too much. So she did that and then she went in with the moisturizer. She used the Dew Instant Angel. It's like a super hydrating intense moisturizer. Now we don't know what the skin type of her bride was. Like she knows, she didn't mention it and I don't know. So but I know that I'm oily, so I'm going to go in with this Jungsimul one again. Even though this is the light version, I think this is extremely moisturizing and it's enough for me. And like bridal makeup is supposed to be long lasting, so you have to cater it to your own skin type. You have to tweak the products to suit your skin and you might also have to tweak some techniques sometimes, so don't be afraid of doing that. This has given me such a glow, and last time when I used this I really worked it in and I forgot to mention that it got a tacky layer after sitting on my skin for 2-3 minutes. So this works as a primer too. That tacky finish means that it's going to grip onto your makeup really nicely. A gripping primer would be great for the weather because like gripping primers don't hide your shine and they help makeup stick to your face and make it long lasting. So I am actually going to use a bit of the Milk Hydro Grip because on the oily areas I think that is where your makeup might slip and slide and I want my makeup to stick here. This is my problem area on my face where no makeup wants to stick. So I am going to make that tweak and let's take some on the nose. So she's an Australian makeup artist and Australian makeup artists really love that bronze look. I really like how they lean into that sun-kissed and glowy skin and not a lot of coverage, and it turns out so nice, so impactful and sultry at the same time, and I really appreciate how it looks. So I really want to create that. Go in with this Bobbi Brown Enrich Eye Base and I'm going to use a tiny amount and let it sit underneath my eye. She said she didn't do a lot for the brows. She did not want to draw attention away from the skin. So she didn't do a lot for the brows. I'm just going to remove whatever excess moisturizer there is in my brows. My eyebrows are thick but they are very sparse, so and they are very uneven as well. So my goal is going to be making them look as even as possible. So just going to I like make an outline and then I fill it in, so it helps the shape look more balanced. It's not too bad, but my brows are so uneven, like even I can't figure out what they want to do with their life. Now I'm going in with some brow gel for the eyebrows. I had used the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in 4.5. I'm using this because I want to finish it. I finished my Morphe one. And then for the brow gel, I've been loving this L'Oreal 24-hour brow lamination. I really like the brush. I like that thin brush more than I like the brush applicator on the Rare Beauty one, because I feel like this coats more evenly, and the Rare Beauty one, like, it really lands a lot of product on one place and then it's difficult to like move it around. Now moving on to the eyes, she wanted the look to be very natural. She did not want to do a lot for the eyes, and what she did was she just applied concealer all over the eyelid, and she said that she used a thick layer. Now that is like alarm bells are going off in my mind, because like thick layer of concealer on. So I'm really torn if I would want to use a tinted eyeshadow primer. Actually, I think I should just follow through what she has done and see if it actually looks nice or if it creases or anything. So she said she went in with concealer on the eyelid and she like did entire eyelid, and I see a lot of makeup artists doing that, and I prefer using a eye primer. But and I'm going to use the Hourglass concealer because that's what the one that she had used, and this brush is the PAC T05. I'm just going to set my concealer with some powder before I go in with any eyeshadow work, because I know the concealer is going to crease. It's looking weird because my powder puffs are wet. I washed them and they have not dried in this humidity.
So I am confused.
So this is looking very patchy. Okay, so the application with the brush is looking way better. But she tagged the palette in the products that she had mentioned, but in the tutorial she says that she only used a bronzer, and if I feel I need more definition or anything, I will go in with this Charlotte Tilbury palette, because I feel the color story is very similar to the Patrick Ta one. Used it all over the eyelid. I think that bronzer is too light for my eyelid, so I'm just going to do what I did on this eye, and then I'll go in with the eyeshadow. A warm part of the palette, and I'm going to pick this shade number 2 in Hands. And these are very fine satins with a minimal pearl, so they give a very smooth finish to the lid. So I'm just going to start from here. Yeah, like this is the shade. I think this is the shade that works better for my skin tone. And like I'm happy with what's going on the eyes now, and I'm just going to make sure I don't have any harsh lines anywhere going in with the, and in between I keep cleaning my brush on my makeup towel so that I don't have a lot of pigment on the brush. Always take your eyeshadow here if you want a very lifted look. I use the Rosenman Beauty E28 and E29. These brushes are amazing. Let's perfect our base. She said that she started with bronzer and concealer. She used the Too Faced bronzer. I don't have that. That is a bronzing stick. So I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Tantor, because another thing that she mentioned and I really like that, for underpainting you have to be really careful about coloring inside the lines, because like we think in underpainting like you can put things anywhere and then you can just go on top with foundation. Being precise will help us use less product and get a better look. So I always begin with placing some bronzer on top of my forehead. Another tip I saw from another makeup artist is that they place the bronzer in a straight line, like how we do this, where your cheekbone is, go straight. Is this straight? Yeah. So I'm going to try and include that. Going on the nose. Also going to do this because I need the volume. That's about how much we are going to place right now, and I'll see if I need more after blending. We are also going to go in with powder bronzer later on, so I just don't want to overdo it. I just want it to look like a very natural tan. And since there's nothing underneath, we can bounce and like blend violently. And her bronzer was still here, so I'm going to take it till here. Blending near the lips with the finger takes off any excess product that you might have, so going in with the fingers here is always a good idea. And blending this, and we're going to sculpt the nose later on. So now moving on to concealer. I feel my under eyes need a little more hydration. And this is a very full coverage concealer, so I'm using a tiniest amount because our goal is to keep our skin looking extremely natural. So I'm going in again with this PAC T05. Forgot to mention the brushes here. I use the e.l.f. blush brush for blending it out, and I use the PAC 219 to place the bronzer. See, like, that is so full coverage. I'm trying to clean up my eyeshadow work here, and since this is underpainting, so I'm going to try and drag out my concealer downwards as much as I can so that I wouldn't need as much foundation later on. And I usually apply my concealer after blush, but she used it before blush, so I'm following her. Like, I'm trying to highlight my nose with whatever is left on the brush. She used the Dior Face and Body, and I've heard that Dior is reformulating this foundation for the third time. I have the original OG Dior Face and Body. My shade is 3 Warm Olive, and currently it has been matching me very perfectly almost. So let's go in with one drop because we are underpainting and we don't need as much. So we are going to place the foundation first and then blend it. I'm using my favorite Beautylicious BLF 235, and I'm going to place it in the areas, this area, This is where I need the most coverage, so I'm going to add a lot here. I've spread it as much as I can, and now I'm going to blend it. And we've not applied the foundation on top of the bronzer like you would usually do in an underpainting look, because we are keeping our skin very skin-like. So we're just using this as an outline and adding coverage only in the areas where our skin might need it. Dries down so nicely on the skin. That's why I think it works better for oily skin types, because it doesn't stay tacky on your skin. I am going to need coverage here because okay, now for the blush, she said that she wanted to use something that was very close to the lips of the person that she was doing the makeup of, and so she used the shade Patricia. She goes to the gym, and I have this one out of office, and I've seen swatches and everything, and it is very similar to. And I'm going to clean this brush and pick up my blush and place it on the apples. This is where we've not added a lot of coverage. And I love how makeup artists are coming back to this placement of blush instead of just everyone using a high blush, because like in real life that high blush sometimes does not look as nice. I'm not trying to make a stripe here, but I am going to take it here so it's visible when I turn my face, and I'm trying to cover this concealer blush edge. Going in with a clean brush to blend out the edges. This was the Sephora Pro 47, and I think the edges have blended out really nicely now. I'm going to add just the tiniest amount of concealer here so that there can be a separation between the redness and the blush. Then she even used a fan brush to powder her client's face, but I think my face is oilier than her, so I'm going to use this Morphe A22 to powder the areas. For the under eyes, she used the same bronzer underneath the eyes. I'm going to go in with this shadow again. Taking a bigger blending brush. Okay, so now we are almost at the end. We are going to use a powder bronzer and powder blush to re-emphasize whatever we had done with the cream products. I'm going to go in with a blush instead. I'm going to use the Patricia Shiso LA. The powder side is almost like a bronzer shade on me and like slightly lighter than the bronzer, but because this is a blush, this is way more pigmented and this looks, in my opinion, blends slightly better and more skin-like than a bronzer would. So I'm going to use that instead, and it's like almost like a bronzer on me. Almost, it is a bronzer on me. So yeah, I think this is a great option and I used it the other day and I really liked how it looked. And I'm using the Morphe M201. This is amazing fluffy, like a powder fluffy brush, and the shape is slightly different than the A22, but I think this shape is better for the cheeks. Going with the fluffy brush, this is a A11, and picking that on and then going for my nose contour reinforcement. I'm going to go back in with this out of office. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just picking it on and again tapping off the excess and just trying to be very light. And it's okay if the blush is very visible because blush is the thing that rubs off your face the first. And then I'm turning this brush and trying to blend it here because this is where the product becomes into a harsh line, which I have found the merit in adding blush to your chin. I accept it makes the look more homogeneous almost. Going to go in with the lighter shade of blush to blend this area. This is the YSL Rose Haze. Almost like a transition blush. And what she said for the eyes, that with a minimal skin like look you really need to emphasize the lashes, and she applied individual lashes, but I don't have the time and patience to apply lashes today, so I'll just try and use 2 coats of mascara. And she added back the freckles, so I'm just going to add back some of my beauty marks. Setting spray is a must for any bridal look. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury one. I think she used the one size fixer, but yeah, like that would be more important in a real life situation. So today we're just going to use a light layer of this. I'm just going to add the tiniest bit of powder foundation here because this redness is really bothering me. Since she added under lashes, her waterline is looking very dark and black, so I'm just going to add the tiniest bit of kajal there. It gives off the feeling of a lash band. And now for the lips, she said that even though it's very skin-like and everything, the lips are going to be very, like the lips need to be emphasized and important. And she used, let's see what she used for the lips. She used a Daniel J stay liner in Ruby Chocolate. She used the Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut, and she used some ABH Lip Velvet. I think the theme is going to be, let's try to match it to the blush and like make our lips look a bit more pink. This is the Fenty Traced Out Lip Liner in the shade Extra Thigh, and then I have Makeup by Mario Milk Chocolate. This is the Makeup by Mario, and this is the Fenty one. I think I'm going in with the Fenty one. Since I want a bit more volume, I'm going to go in with this Merit Signature Lip in Capricorn first. Just right here on my Cupid's bow, so it looks slightly more contoured. And this one, I'm going to go in with this. And she said to keep blending any harsh lip line that you might have made. Morphe S500. Her lip combo looks like a very nudie pink. I'm going to go in with this most amazing Charlotte Tilbury shade, which not a lot of people know, but this is like a slightly coral kind of a pink. So if your lips are pigmented, this coral makes them look slightly more even. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Glowing Gen, and this is what I initially wanted to go in with, the 90s pink, but I think this is Glowing Gen, so this is the kissing formula. I think that looks amazing. And I think that has like blended, like matched the blush really nice. If it was just for me and I was not going to do any, like was not following any tutorial, I would have gone in with this Plume Lip by Violette FR in the shade Châtain Grille. So yeah, this is also a slightly warm pinkish nude on me, and it looks so nice. I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of this because this is literally, had I had it during my wedding, this would have been my go-to. This shade is just nude lip combo perfection. I'm going to go in with this one. I pulled this out again the other day when I was doing that Zendaya inspired makeup look. This is literally the prettiest shade of bridal pink. This is the Pillow Talk Plump Gasm this is the medium to dark one. It is extremely plumping and my lips are hurting as we speak, but it is so shiny, and the pink is just like any lipstick, any lip combo you want to pull it into the nude pink territory, just go in with this. So amazing, so flattering. Yeah, this is the finished look. I am actually really happy with how this is looking, and I will try to take a natural light video. It is looking very subtly glowy because I might have mattified a bit more than her, but I feel like this is what I wanted actually. Some of the blush is rubbing off here, but like I have hairy cheeks and blush doesn't stick. So, and we have not used any highlighter for the glow. This is all just skincare and trying to use makeup in an intentional way, and my lips are burning. Oh, I love how shiny it is. Do you think this is bridal enough for you? I definitely wore a lot of makeup on my wedding day because I didn't know any better. But I think, yeah, this is extremely bridal, and I would definitely go for something like this if I were a 2026 bride. But overall, I am really happy with how this look turned out, and I think it's is very close in this is actually a more accurate recreation of what I was going for in the last video, and I'm pretty stoked with how it turned out, and the products also worked really nicely. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are liking this kind of videos, please leave a comment. And unfortunately, I can't link many of these products because they are not available in India. So if you want, you can just DM me on Instagram and I'll send you the link to those pages, but I do not have shopping links for those products. So I think in the natural light, you can actually see the glow is translating much better. And I don't know if you call it glowy or you call it oily. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.